What's up, podcast listeners and YouTube watchers, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, and the movie I'm going to be reviewing right now is The Secret Life of Pets 2. Now, this one comes from Universal Pictures and is produced by Illumination Entertainment, the same company behind the Despicable Me franchise, The Secret Life of Pets, Hop, Sing, those types of movies. And so, this one is directed by Chris Renaud. I'm going to say Renaud. I hope that's correct. I apologize if it's wrong. And also co-directed by Jonathan Del Val. This one picks up right after the first one left off, and we follow Max, which is the main dog, and we see him and his group of friends, whether it be a bunny rabbit, other dogs, cats. We see them and their antics. We see them when their humans are not around, and just see them in their daily lives. Hence the title, The Secret Life of Pets. And so, going into this movie, I didn't know what to expect. I never saw the first one. It was one of those movies that I skipped, and it's not because I thought it looked terrible. It's just I think it was busy that summer. Just didn't get around to it, and so I never watched it. And it's been 3 years. I don't think I'll ever watch it. So not only did I not see the first one, but I saw the trailer to the sequel, and I thought, it's whatever. I mean, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know any characters' names. It was cool. So I had no skin in this game. I went in blind. I saw it as it is, and I wanted to see if this was the type of movie that I could just go into blind, really like, and want to go watch the first one and hope that there's more sequels that they're going to make. Now, this movie is very popular. The first one did very well in the box office, so I know this franchise has an audience for families, for kids. So what was it going to be like? Because I actually like animated movies. I love animation. It is one of the best art forms that this medium has. It's a lot of hard work, and if you put a lot of passion and creativity behind it, it could be some of the most beautiful pieces of cinema ever put on film. Illumination Entertainment, it is what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of them. I think some of the movies are fine, like Despicable Me 1 and 2. Everything else, cool, take it or leave it. So how is this movie? I gotta tell you, it may not be for me, but I can tell you, full truth on this, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's just okay, but it's actually quite entertaining for families and for kids. I think this is the perfect film that you put in front of your kids. It's on Netflix, and you need to clean the house for an hour and a half. You need to occupy them for an hour and a half. This is the perfect film to do that. It's not a problem. It's just that's what I kind of got from this movie, and it's entertaining enough to get you through the 86-minute runtime, but I do think it kind of runs out of gas and definitely out of steam, as the movie keeps going. And the one thing I didn't really care about too much is the way it was presented. I don't know how the first one was done, but if it was done like this one, then I definitely don't want to watch the first one. So we have 3 separate storylines, one involving Max and his family. Then we have the bunny rabbit and another dog, and then we have another dog and a bunch of cats. And so we have 3 separate storylines, and they all kind of converge into one towards the end of the movie, and then it just ends. The problem with this is when you have one storyline going, and it gets going, and you get the rhythm of the characters, you get the rhythm of the dialogue, the scenario, the jokes, everything, then you're done and it switches to the other one. And you're like, well, that's really not really enough time to get to know anyone. It's just kind of it happened. This is just a setup for a gag, and then we move on. So I didn't really like that execution of the story. I didn't like that setup. It didn't work for me. Some of the jokes and the setups for these separate storylines, some of them were quite funny. Some of them were really clever, playing off of the whole dog stereotypes or cat stereotypes. I thought those were kind of clever. but they got old after a while, and when you're not doing anything new to the separate storylines, they can get old, and by the time you get towards the end when they all come together, you just don't care anymore. So there's that. Speaking upon the humor, like I said, some of the stuff works, some of it didn't. Excuse me. Some of it didn't, but I was actually surprised on how much I did laugh. So take that for what it's worth. I live with 2 dogs myself, and I've been around cats, so I know how they are, and I think this film's humor perfectly represents some of the weird and insane things that pets do around humans. The voice acting was actually quite good. A lot of fun, a lot of energy from Patton Oswalt as the main character Max. He's always been great as a voice actor. I mean, just take a look at Ratatouille. He's the main character throughout that entire film. Always talking a mile a minute, but you're still intrigued by what he's going to say. And so he brings a lot of energy and fun to it. You have Eric Stonestreet. You have Jenny Slate, Lake Bell, Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish. Everyone does a fun job to bring these little fur balls to life, and I gotta commend them for that. They all sound like they're having a lot of fun. Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford. He's in this very briefly. Sure, I don't know why he was in it, but hey, this paycheck's gotta look nice, right? So, he fits his character well. It's just he's barely even in it, so I don't even know why they got someone of his caliber. They could have gotten anyone for that. But I guess that could go for any actor in this movie. They could have gotten anyone else, but these people decided to commit to this franchise, so I guess that's something. And the animation is pretty good for the most part. Kind of reminds me of The Good Dinosaur a little bit from Pixar, where the environments and the settings look really great and almost photorealistic, and then the main characters and the dinosaurs in that movie are kind of gummy-like or very cartoonish, so it doesn't really mesh well. This one actually fits a little bit better. The backgrounds and the environments of like the city, the apartments, the furniture, the textures of the clothes and the hair, those are all like realistic and really well rendered out for this type of animation. But it's the same way for all the Illumination movies. The characters look like, cartoons, which is fine. It is a animated movie. It's directed towards kids. Kids love cartoons, and so that doesn't really bother me. But when you have such kind of gorgeous and lavish backgrounds, it sometimes doesn't mesh well with the characters, but nonetheless, it's still beautiful and a visual treat to look at. I will never knock animation unless it just absolutely looks awful, because it takes a lot of time and effort to do these things, and when you can pump out something, even if something as mediocre as this movie, and still make it look great, I gotta commend them on that. So the animation is actually quite crisp, clear, and visually explosive on screen when, especially when you get into the close-ups or the wide shots. It does look nice, but the dogs and the humans are a lot different than the backgrounds, but it still makes a pleasant watch. It's an entertaining movie for the most part. It might run out of steam towards the end, and I really wanted to get out of there, but I do think that 86-minute runtime is quick enough for you to sit down, bring your kids, bring your family, watch it, and leave. If this is something you want to wait for, maybe do a matinee, but to be honest with you, it's not really a movie I would personally pay money for to see in a theater with a family. I would wait for it to be home on streaming, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a movie for me. I think it's mediocre. It's fine. It's down the middle for me. But I'm going to give it that slight plus because the animation is pretty good, and it's better than what I remember from other Illumination Entertainment movies. So I'm going to give The Secret Life of Pets 2 a C+. So what did you guys think of this movie? What did you think of the first one? Comment the places right below my face to let me know. And that'll do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.